as humans, we are insanely habitual. I can look at your schedule and how you do life and tell you what next week is going to look like, right? The only way to shift your outcome is to shift what you're doing. So establish routines. Creating daily routines and habits can help you stay on track and be more consistent with your actions.
Yeah. Let's spend just a minute on this. So part of the routines that I know Josh and I both have during our week is not only this podcast, where we're spending time in deep conversation talking about life. We also have our coaching clients, coaching calls. We have other men that are pouring into us. We have our Men of Light group. We've got Mighty Men on Saturday. So we have these checkpoints where the routine and the pattern of social accountability is built into our schedule. So we're not going 7 days without talking about our feelings, emotions, and things that we want. We literally have these guardrails in place. So part of the routine of a healthy life is to make sure that you've got good guys around you on a regular basis.
It's true. And there's not a gap in time. There's not a lapse between when we're together. When the things that we're talking about, our groups, our touch points, our checkpoints, other men, is that's a weekly ordeal for us.
Yeah. And
it has been for years. And so we don't, nothing against the men's group that gets together once a month, but you don't get anywhere in life meeting with a group once a month.
Correct.
Bi-monthly, probably the same outcome.
Sure.
But if you're creating consistent flow in your life, getting up at the same time every day, you've adjusted your eating habits and you're eating the same general things every day, not being emotionally led in that, moving your body, doing something physically hard every single day will help you create those consistent habits, because our habits are truly truly expose what is honestly most important to us.
And it predicts our future.
It does.
Yep.
I can say I want something all day long, but if my habits and my actions don't align up with that, then what I'm saying is just a lie.
True. That's good.
Number 4, establish accountability.
Boom.
We talked about this several times today.
We will hit this nail on the head so many more times and beat this into your brains, because every guy that is struggling, suffering, white knuckling it, and doing the lone wolf thing, we know you're out there, because that was both of us at different seasons. And it's standard for so many men that have yet to really embrace the accountability side, because there's some false story belief that says, I can't ask for help. No one's going to help and serve me. I'm not in the same spot somebody else is. Accountability, that was the breakthrough. That is the breakthrough piece. And if you look at every single season you've probably won in, if you used to play athletics, the season that you were probably the best is when you were on a team and you had accountability with other brothers. You know that you had to show up for practice so that you could play on the field with a certain level of expertise. So the accountability piece, that iron sharpens iron, that biblical truth, that is the piece that it will really separate good men from great men.
That's true. And let me add some clarity to accountability. Men are accountable to men. Women are accountable to women.
So good.
So specific. This is why this is such a big deal in marriage that a lot of couples don't get. Is you cannot, as a man, be accountable to your wife. If you have a relationship dynamic right now where you're accountable to your wife, then you have a mother.
Yeah, it's good.
Men are accountable to men.
Depolarizing your sexuality.
Yep, it's not a good. It will not serve you. And if you're living that out, you know it doesn't serve you. So this is why it's important to surround ourselves with those on the same mission as you, and they have to be men. If you're listening to me, good. This requires of us, Aaron, authenticity, transparency, frequent dialogue, and intrusive accountability, as Aaron talks about. Absolute necessities to create great accountability in our lives.
That's great.
Number 5. Take stock of your progress.
That's good.
Again, coming back to you can't manage what you don't see. So you may have a clear goal. You might be putting some effort to it. You feel like you're getting a little bit down the road, but life happens, right? Attitudes shift, circumstances change. That's the one guarantee of life, is it'll always be shifting, which requires us to change. So we have to stop and take stock of our progress. Regularly reflecting on your progress can help you stay motivated, make the adjustments that are necessary, and celebrate your own success and learn from the setbacks you've had to keep moving forward.
It's good. Progress, Tony Robbins talks about progress, but progress is a fundamental human need. We need to see progress in all domains of life. So we'd like to see that we've made some type of progress. And that's, we think about the martial arts does this really well. There's a ranking system: white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt. We want to see that we've made progress towards the ultimate goal that we're working towards.
Yeah, we got it. It's a need. Can't get around it. Number 6, stay disciplined.
It's good.
Stay disciplined. I'll tell you, this is maybe just because I'm a big guy, but I'll tell you, Aaron, anytime I do a long distance run, it's hard in the beginning. It gets easier in the end. or easier in the middle, but I find the hardest part of my run on like a 10-mile run is like the last mile and a half. I've done really well. I've made it through this. I know I can do it. Like if I were just to pull off and walk now, it'd be fine. But the having a value of finishing what you start is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
We get progress in our life, things start to shift for the better, and then we can become indifferent and then complacent with that new progress, and we never truly reach our destination.
Yeah.
So step number 6 is to stay disciplined. Consistency requires us to stay committed to our goals, regardless of how challenging or how much or what we feel in that moment.
I love that. And the last step is the discipline. Notice it's not the first step, because all of this builds on each other. And so the clear goals, the starting small, the routines, the accountability, the progress, and the discipline. Discipline becomes easy after you've done these 5 other steps. It becomes a whole lot easier because you're like, I'm on the 9th mile. I have 1 mile left, and I just need to buckle down and discipline myself and stay towards the end, because I can see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you try to go back to the front end and just try to white knuckle it, that's where so many people struggle, is they just are trying to just force themselves into a routine without building on the progress before. That's typically where you see the start, stop, and they never really finish.
Yeah, that's true.